What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode, a very rainy episode, I might add, of The Trade Show. Now, as many of you already know, my name is Matt Trader, and I'm a commercial real estate broker at Rainier Development Company. And you know I do a lot of marketing. And they say that the rule number one of marketing is that you should never promote your competition. Well, you know me, I'm not very good at following the rules.
You knew I was gonna make it rain?
Oh, man, making it rain, baby. I have here with me today one of the principal owners of Gilkerson and NAI Coastal, Mr. Joey Gilkerson. And as you all know, Joey, along with Brad Gillis and many others, have been putting their blood, sweat, and tears into rebuilding downtown Salisbury. And I'm standing before you today in front of one of their newest projects, the Powelle building. And we're here today to get a tour of the building, but Joey isn't going to give us the tour. His property manager is. And in case you all don't know who his property manager is, well, you all are about to find out. Because he's getting ready to walk that aisle, baby.
It's in this moment I realized that I'm overdressed for the occasion.
We didn't know we were going to have Magna P.I. on the show.
I brought my favorite hat out. I didn't know I needed my
I'm sorry,
Gucci's.
guys.
But look, ladies and gentlemen, I have here with us today the Director of Operations from the Maryland and Delaware Group of Long and Foster, a man that many like to call the Nature Boy, Mr. Shane Snoots. And Shane's going to give us a tour of the Powelle building here today, and we're going to sit down with him for a few questions. With all that being said, you guys ready to do that?
Let's do it.
All right, we'll see you guys back here in a few seconds. All right, so look, guys, I really appreciate y'all coming on the show today. But look, before we get started, we got to show you all something. Joey, I got to dress the elephant in the room real quick. Joey,
What's
show
that?
everybody your socks.
You want me to give the fashion
Come on,
advice
man.
here?
Yeah, man. You guys got to check these socks out.
Yeah, oh yeah. So today I brought the Bert and Ernie's out. It's Bert and Ernie. Can you guys see that?
Flex the calf too, bro.
It's awesome.
Flex
So it's
the
got
cap.
Bert and Ernie down the middle of the face like that. It's one of my favorite things.
This episode was brought to you by the letter J and G. Joey Gilkerson, ladies and gentlemen. And just so you all know, I think the world knows Joey Gilkerson. Shane,
Yeah.
let's talk about you.
And that suit.
So today I got
Yeah.
Shane Snoots on the show. I think a lot of people know Shane Snoots, but for those who don't, Shane, why don't you tell our audience and everybody, the millions and millions who are watching at home, all about Shane Snoots, what you do and how you got started.
So 6 years ago, I was brought down here to run our property management division at Long and Foster. We initially started about 50 accounts, and then we grew to 1,200 doors, and it came over time. And actually, funny thing is, Joey was one of our first big accounts, you know. So it was just forming relationships with a lot of guys and really, you know, giving a different product that was being offered around town at that time. And that's the biggest difference is we actually really do try to service all of our landlords and even our tenants at the same deal. So, you know, been here 6 years and it's been a hell of a ride, to be honest, and being connected with Joey and a lot of different investors in town, it's actually helped me grow our base and be able to help serve and onwards and upwards to things. So,
Well, look, I know you manage a large portfolio of properties. How does the Powelle building differ from the other properties that you manage currently?
look at it. There's nothing like this in town. I mean, honestly, this is something. It's big time. It's big city feel.
Ooh, Shane, you're speaking the words,
And
baby.
look at this.
Speaking the words.
No, listen, I am speaking it to you, and
You got
it's-
Joey Blush over here.
it's easy to sell.
And it's got a great ownership team.
And look,
That's right, it
I was
does.
gonna wrap it with that. You know, the ownership team behind it. They've actually given us a great product to rent,
Yeah.
and it's so easy walking people through here. It's one of my favorite places to show because it sells itself. When you
Yeah.
walk through, it's luxury at its finest, and there's nothing else in Salisbury or on the Eastern Shore, frankly, that's like it. So
Yeah.
it's a pretty easy product to sell.
It's definitely amazing. And speaking of the ownership team, Joey, I know you guys have a lot going on at Gilkerson, NAI.
Sure.
You've got tons of projects. And what were the challenges of this project per se versus like everything else that you've encountered?
Ooh, so this is At its core, it's adaptive reuse and it's a historic structure. So you've got many more challenges taking an existing shell structure and reworking it than you do coming from the ground up with new construction. Ground up new construction, you eliminate all the variables. Yeah. You don't have to worry about an unplumbed wall or a hidden little leak or a block on the side that's got a crack in it or anything like that, because everything's new. It's actually easier to build too. The reason being is because you create a plan, a very specific, accurate plan, and you can kind of hand it off to have it built, to have it created. On this, every time you pull a wall back, every time you gut an area, it's like, ooh, what's this? What are we going to do with this?
Yeah.
Yep.
So speaking of history and pulling walls back, is there something inside this building that you found, that you uncovered, that maybe our audience or nobody ever knew existed, like an Indiana Jones artifact? Is there something special inside here that the world needs to know about?
There's a couple things. One, like physical stuff. So it's important to know that the history of the building, it was built as Montgomery Ward's. It was then Vernon Powell Shoes for a long time. Vernon Powell built their facility behind the center in Salisbury and no longer use this as a retail outlet other than the sidewalk sale or the sale they did annually at the Salisbury Festival. So this became overflow storage for the other Powell buildings. Vernon Powell Shoes has several locations, many locations. I don't know how many specifically.
Shout out Vernon Powell.
Yeah, shout out to Vernon Powell. Vernon Powell, baby.
And the right family.
They're not sponsoring it, but maybe you will.
Well, with the can-do attitude, anything's possible.
Yeah, maybe you will. Shout out Vernon Powell.
My point of that was this had been overflow storage for a long time. I don't know how it came to be, but there was literally a jet ski. We're sitting on the 4th floor. There was a jet ski on this 4th floor.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we had to pull that bad boy down.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Well, look,
I haven't ridden it yet.
You haven't ridden it yet?
The Kenny Bowers, dude. That's the Kenny Bowers, man.
Well, I'm trying to get there.
Let's
Trying
do
to
it.
get there.
Well, look, I know beyond the Powell building, like I said before, you guys have a lot going on. You guys just signed a huge deal with Amazon, which is amazing. Actually, I think I want to try to get you and Brad back on the show at some point to talk about those deals. I think that will make for a great episode. So maybe you all look for that down the road if I can convince those two to get back on the show. But look, beyond that deal, this deal, what else does Gillis Gilkerson and AI have going on right now?
A lot, quite a bit. I'm not allowed to talk about Amazon though. You know, I can't. You know, what else? This is not enough. I bring 20 luxury apartments downtown. I bring this small company, Amazon, to Seaford, and I can't talk about those. You want to know what else can I do for you?
Yeah. What else? If you want to talk about it, you can talk about it now. You want to talk about it now?
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, it's by the time it hits the news, you know, our world, it's kind of our job's done a lot of times. You know what I mean? Like there was been the past year and a half of negotiations with Amazon and what have you. Yeah. Similar to this project, you know, the construction's been done for 3 or 4 months. We built it for about a year before that, but then there was a 3 or 4 year period of negotiating and trying to figure out the ins and outs and how to make this project come to life. So
I'd say our deals take forever sometimes. People don't understand, man.
They really do.
They really don't. We take months, years sometimes to put deals together. But that's what makes it more fun in the end.
Absolutely.
Makes some drinks taste better at the end. It does.
Oh, yeah.
So what else you got going on, man?
Well, I mean, we've got several projects downtown. We are. It's been a long time coming, but we continue to focus on this parking lot back here. So there's several hundred apartments that are on the cusp of happening. The pandemic, I can give you a few excuses as to why it hasn't happened yet, but we're not quite there yet. So there's not a lot of sustenance to talk about quite yet. We have done a fair amount of warehousing deals too, so it's kind of bringing in industries. It's a lot of behind the scenes. When it's not retail, when it's not at the forefront, it doesn't hit the media as much, but a lot of our focus in the recent years has been warehousing. We actually did a warehouse deal together.
That's right.
3 or 4 or 5, 6 months ago.
12,000 square feet on Scenic Drive, by the way.
Drive,
Anybody's looking for some warehouse space on Scenic Drive, Joe's your guy to talk to, or you can call me and I'll get a commission on it. So we do that too. 443-614-4297. Call me about Scenic Drive.
Yeah. That's your show, man.
Dude, we're plugging everything, dude. Let's plug everything.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. What do you got going on?
I can't talk about all that, man.
What you working on? Let me hear your deals, man.
That's reverse roles.
Can't talk about all that.
Reverse roles.
I really appreciate everybody coming on the show today. My name is Matt Schrader. Welcome to Schrader Deals. Here on site we have my friend here, Joey.
But look, Joey is a busy guy. He's got a lot going on. He told us before the show that he's only got a certain amount of time and he's got to get out of here. But before he leaves, this is the trade show.
Okay.
And everybody knows I love making trades. All right. So I've got a trade for Joey today.
Okay.
So, as many people know, my programming is all about real estate and entertainment. And I don't think there was ever a better moment in history than when real estate and entertainment intersected than last year at the White Marlin Open, when Joey reeled in one of the biggest fishes at the tournament. And if anybody out there has seen the moment when he reeled the fish in. If not, we're going to show you in a minute.
Great.
But
That's awesome news for my real estate career. This is great. This is good news.
We're gonna
redemption,
show you
brother.
this.
This is a web redemption.
This is a web redemption.
It is a web redemption. But
Yes.
I want you to basically tell us what was going through your mind. Not yet. We're going to show the footage first.
Yeah.
And then
Uh-huh.
I also want you to try to recreate that moment for us. And by doing so, I'm going to trade you a couple hats, a couple of these duck hunt hats we got here, the Trader Duck Hunt hats, and a couple koozies, one for each of you. But first, I want everybody else to take a look at the footage so they know exactly what I'm talking about. Here's Joey Gilkerson last year at the White Marlin Open.
Oh, I've been pumped about this. First of all, I'd like to thank God. Second of all, I'm gonna give you a play-by-play, all right? So we're out here, and it's this mysterious ocean, right? We're out there for a long time. There's nothing. We're riding, and then watch. Wow, boom! You know what I'm saying? Barry hands it down to me. I'm ready. I've been up all day. I've been up for 6 hours. Here I am. I take it. I crank it. I crank it. I crank it. It goes. I crank it. I crank it. Gone. I crank it, and then Billy, where's Billy at? Grabs the mother. Billy, where you at, man? Grabs him by the bill, hog smash. So bang him on the boat, on the board, skirt chaser. Come find us. Let's go. Waboom! Right? Woo! Woo!
Man, Joey, dude, what the hell was going through your mind when that was going on? I mean, I can only imagine. That was a huge fish. There's got to be a lot of energy. What was going through your mind?
First of all, thank you for playing the video.
You're welcome.
That,
You're welcome.
really,
This is real
really-
estate entertainment, baby.
This is how I'm going to progress my real estate career.
Next level.
Video I've
right
been
now.
very proud
I've got a
of.
bunny suit and a He-Man costume if you want to walk around that sometime.
I'm growing my hair out so I can cut a He-Man right now. Just so
Yeah.
you know, that's the flow. That's the flow.
Yeah. Maybe a mullet.
So let's go mindset first. I'm not a professional angler. I'm on a boat with other guys that love the sport. They love being out there. They love the sunshine. And after a day of fishing, you didn't hear it from me, but some like to have cocktails.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can see that.
So we have this fish. We're heading to the scales. I think it's probably important to note too that was my first time boating a white marlin. So I've been out there before. I've had them on the line, but I've never had one in the boat.
Yeah.
So the first time the one was big enough to bring in and measure, it was the first one that was big enough to our boat was big enough to go to the scales. So I'm not really fully familiar with the pomp and circumstances of what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Until we're heading in and a few texts have gone out, and I'm getting bombarded with phone calls and Facebook messages and all those kind of things. I mean, it's a very exciting thing.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in Ocean City. I mean, it's the White Marlin Open. It's the Super Bowl fishing tournament.
It's a big deal.
Michael Jordan was there.
Yeah,
Michael
shout out
Jordan was
Michael
there.
Jordan.
Shout out Michael
Jordan
Jordan.
Brand.
I actually, when I went up my whole spiel, I'd like, instead of me recreating my spiel,
Okay.
I'd like to go up with the spiel that I told everybody I was going to do in the big
Web
detail.
redemption, dude.
The web redemption was.
You did that rep redemption.
Yeah, I don't know how many times you guys have beat Michael Jordan in a sporting event,
I've never, to be honest.
but your boy has.
See, that's a big deal.
And that's
a big deal.
443-880-6055.
Yes. That's a big deal.
That is.
Not many can say that.
No.
Patrick Ewing can't.
It's barely fair for me to be able to say because I don't know if there's any other sports that I could beat him at. But I got him once, you know. So
That's the important thing.
yeah. So what I was getting at though is there's a long line getting to the scales. We go to the fuel dock to refuel both the cooler and the boat,
Yeah.
and the excitement got to me by the time I got to the dock there. So what was running through my head was pure joy and not much else. Honestly, there wasn't much going on between the ears other than just happy as can be.
Yeah.
Specifically, I was going to go up there and say that. I thought I'd get on ESPN if I went up and said that I beat Michael Jordan in a tournament
A nice
with that
speech.
interview, right?
Yeah.
But I forgot the whole Michael Jordan plug.
But you did do a hawk smash
forgot.
and a waboom.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, like,
You want me to do it again?
if you want to do it, you
The
can
problem
do it.
is,
If
like, there was
not,
a very
it's all
specific
good.
energy in the moment that I don't know.
Yeah,
I can
I don't think you
replicate.
can either.
Maybe do the speech that you really wanted to do.
All you need to
that-
know, there's a few points to clarify,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So this is important.
Yes.
So in the beginning, I talk about this deep blue majestic ocean, and that I had been up for a couple of hours. You know, this is the middle of the afternoon, so I got a lot of buddies like, "Would you sleep till 11 o'clock and do this?" And I'm like, let me clarify what I meant by up. So our boat was it was a well-oiled machine. When you're the next angler up, you stand in the back of the boat until the rod goes off.
Yeah.
I was standing there for hours. We were in between fish for a very long time. I mean,
Right.
I don't. It's been a while now, but we didn't catch a fish from 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock.
Right.
That whole time, I was right there on the back of the boat.
Yeah.
But in the video, I'm like, I was standing there. I was up for hours. Everybody's like, oh, poor guy. Your fishing trip. You had to be up for 4 hours. Man. The next thing was the fish fought. I mean, I reeled it in, it ran out. I reeled it in, it ran out, which was what I was trying to say with my zzz.
And that's you wheeled it in with the guns, right? So shout out Pure Fitness.
Yeah,
right?
shout out Pure Fitness.
Shout out Pure Fitness.
Yeah, I
They're
dug my
gonna
calves
sponsor this one,
in,
too.
dug my calves in.
Yeah, big calves.
The Waboom, I think, I don't even remember, I should have refreshed myself with this video, but the Waboom was me giving credit to the mate Billy, who, I'd been on several of these boats before, and if they were anywhere near what they thought regulation weight was, they were not bringing them in by the bill, you know what I mean? They were bringing them in by the gaff. I now know how taboo that was. But anyway, so Billy, if it was anywhere close, I mean, we had a giant fish. We thought before we brought it in, it was the big deal. You know what I mean? He still is he's billing it. You know what I mean? He brings it in by the bill.
Yeah.
Like he grabs it with his bare hands and brings it in.
Yeah,
and it's I don't remember, now I'm going to get misquoted, an 80-pound fish or whatever. But he grabs it, brings it in the boat, and just kind of brings it in. That's.
What were you feeling? You
dog smash, you know what I'm saying?
So now I can see what you were saying.
Yeah, that's
in the moment you were excited. The excitement.
I'm trying to tell that story, but I had a little bit. Yeah.
You had a couple. You had a couple drinks. Just a couple.
A couple.
Well, look, man, I got to tell you, when I watched that, I watched it like 100 times. I mean, it was probably the funniest thing I've seen in a very long time. Probably top 10 in my life, maybe 5. I mean, that was just, it was classic. Well, and it was you. That was the thing. It's like anybody who knows Joey knows that's just a Joey Gilkerson moment.
Yeah,
right.
And one disappointing thing. Usually there's like hundreds of people there. This was last year during the pandemic, 2020 White Marlin. So there weren't live audiences, but it was a very familiar face because I don't know if you know this, but Christian Phillips, NAI Coastal. Shout out NAI.
Shout out NAI.
Shout out.
They're actually sponsoring this. So yes.
Does that mean we're right now? Anyway, Christian is a dock master. He has done the White Marlin for a decade, so he's there. I get off the boat at the scale, this big moment. I got my buddy, high five, we're handshaking, we're shooting the breeze, and then they come in my face with a microphone and a camera. And I was
That's the best.
I was like, I got this. Yeah. Come over here.
What was Christian saying? I mean, he had.
He was like a little bit embarrassed, I think, because like everybody there's like, who is this guy? And he just shook his hand, and now he's yelling at the camera. And but no, he was really excited to see me there. And so many people go to the scales too with like, as he calls them, sea rats, fish that clearly are not big enough. They just want to go up the scale. So he was very glad that I did not come up there with a non-qualifying fish too.
Yeah.
We ended up in 4th place.
4th place. But you still beat Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
When you beat Michael Jordan.
You know what you get for beating Michael Jordan at a sporting event? 2 trader hats.
Yep.
And 2 koozies.
All right, man.
So we'll get Joey these hats.
Yeah. What if I beat him twice? What do I get next year?
I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. I don't have any more. I'm running out of merch, man.
Well, if I do it, I'm doing it for you.
He do it for me, man. But look, there's one for you. But look, Joey's got to run. He's got to get out of here. We've held him way past his bedtime or his work time. Excuse me. He's got to go. Shane's going to give us a tour, and we'll see you back here in a few seconds right here on the Trade Show.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, so here's one of the apartments here that's still available. As you can see, you walk in, open floor plan. We have stainless steel appliances, subway tiling throughout. We got exposed beams, exposed piping throughout, really that New York metropolitan feel here. And then you got exposed brick in all the bedrooms. They come with full-size washer and dryer each unit, but you gotta love it. There's nothing like this on the shore.
No, I totally agree. Exposed brick is amazing. This place is awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, I'll tell you what, man, this place is impressive. I certainly wouldn't have any problem living here. Speaking of problems, I know that you are known for your problem-solving ability. Everybody I talk to is like, Shane Snoots solves any problem I have. He always figures it out. What do you do? What is your strategy to solve so many problems and so quickly?
To be honest, it's always having the mindset of half full, glass half full kind of mindset. No matter what's thrown at you, just taking it in stride. You know, there's always a solution to the problem, and especially in our industry, real estate, you know there's a way to get to the finish line. So luckily for me, I have a great team around me as well. My sister Tasha, she works with me, and she's been excellent on the back end to help me through a lot of stuff. So, I can't do it without my team either.
Yeah.
So that's a big, big asset to us.
You guys do have a great team over there. Shout out to Brandon Brittingham, by the way, Bob Sinager, if you're watching,
Yep.
my man. Bob Sinager will plug in too.
Yep, shout out Bob.
Yeah, well, look, we've shouted out a lot of people here today. We have talked a lot here today. I think Shane and I could literally go on for the next 4 or 5 hours, but we're not going to do that. So with that being said, let's try to wrap things up. Shane, if there's anything else you want to tell our audience, now's your time to do so.
No, if you guys are interested in renting these beautiful units here, you can call me at 240-357-5971. And if you're looking for a property manager to manage your assets, call me. We'll do whatever we need to do.
Shane, man, I really appreciate it, buddy. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
And look, as I always tell you, if anybody out there wants to trade a conversation, a property, a story, whatever it is, give me a call at 443-614-4297, and we'll see you next time right here only on The Trade Show. Peace.